Welcome to our channel Book by Book. Today we're diving into a book that honestly could change your life. Why We Sleep by the neuroscientist Matthew Walker.
Oh, it's absolutely foundational. Walker basically translates decades of complex sleep science into something really compelling, something everyone needs to understand.
Right. And it hits hard because it goes right against
Hmm.
this cultural thing we have, doesn't it? This idea that sleep is optional, something you cut back on to be productive.
That whole "I'll sleep when I'm dead" mindset.
Exactly. And Walker just demolishes that.
Completely. He shows pretty clearly that sleep deprivation isn't some badge of honor. It's actually linked to so many problems. Chronic diseases, burnout, mental health issues. It's a global epidemic, he argues.
So our goal here on Book by Book is to really unpack that. Walker's main point is pretty radical. Sleep isn't just one thing you can do for your health. It might be the single most effective thing.
For everything health, your brain power, creativity, even how long you live.
So we'll break down the science, bust some myths, and give you some practical science-backed tips you can actually use, maybe even tonight. Okay, let's start with the absolute core idea. Walker insists sleep isn't a luxury, right? It's biological necessity, non-negotiable.
Yeah, like the foundation of a house. You can have the best diet, the fanciest exercise routine, but if your sleep foundation is cracked, none of it works as well. It's fundamental.
He calls it a reset button for basically every system in the body.
That's a great way to put it. It affects your brain, obviously, but also your emotional balance, how your body uses energy, your metabolism, even your immune system. Every single night, sleep is doing critical maintenance work.
And if you skip that maintenance,
You start to erode everything. It's not immediate, maybe, but it adds up.
which leads to that really stark warning in the book. I mean, it's blunt.
The shorter your sleep, the shorter your life. Yeah. And he backs that up with a lot of data. It's not just a catchy phrase.
So chronic lack of sleep, and he defines that as consistently less than about 7 hours,
Right. That's the threshold research points to.
is directly linked to dying earlier, higher risk of heart disease, cancer.
The epidemiological links are strong. It's a serious health risk factor, on par with things we already take very seriously, like smoking.
Okay, so why is sleep so critical? What's actually happening? Walker talks about this two-process model.
Yes, this explains the when and how much of sleep. It's actually quite elegant. Process one is sleep pressure.
Right, this is the adenosine thing.
Exactly. Adenosine is a chemical that builds up in your brain the longer you're awake. Think of it like, well, metabolic exhaust from your brain cells working all day.
So the more exhaust builds up, the sleepier you feel.
Precisely. High levels of adenosine signal to your brain, time to rest. And here's the key. Only sleep really clears this adenosine out effectively. Napping helps a bit, but a full night's sleep is needed for the full cleanup.
Which explains caffeine, right? It doesn't actually get rid of the adenosine.
Nope. Caffeine basically puts up a roadblock. It blocks the adenosine receptors in your brain, so the sleepiness signal can't get through, even though the adenosine is still there, building up.
So you feel awake, but the underlying pressure is just getting worse.
Exactly. And when the caffeine wears off, bam, you get hit with all that accumulated sleep pressure at once. It just delays the inevitable.
Okay, so that's the pressure, how much sleep we need. What's the other process?
Process two is the circadian rhythm. This is your internal 24-hour biological clock. It dictates when you feel sleepy and when you feel alert, independent of how long you've been awake.
It's like the conductor of the orchestra, telling all the body systems when to do their thing.
That's a perfect analogy. It controls sleep-wake cycles, but also things like body temperature fluctuations, hormone release. It's a master timer.
And it's located somewhere specific in the brain.
Yeah, a tiny region called the suprachiasmatic nucleus, or SCN. It's situated right above where the optic nerves cross.
So it gets light information directly from the eyes.
Exactly. Light is the main signal it uses to synchronize itself with the outside world. When it gets dark, the SCN tells the pineal gland to release melatonin, the hormone that helps time sleep onset.
Melatonin doesn't make you sleep, though, right?
No.
It's more like the starting gun for the race.
Precisely. It signals, okay, it's nighttime, get ready for sleep. It helps regulate the timing.
So for good sleep, you need both. High sleep pressure and the circadian clock saying it's nighttime.
They need to be aligned. And that's where modern life messes things up so badly.
How so?
Well, we fight the pressure with caffeine, like we said, and we confuse the clock with artificial light, especially blue light from screens, late at night.
Because that blue light tells the SCN, hey, it's still daytime.
Yep. It suppresses melatonin release, pushing our internal clock later, making it harder to fall asleep when we actually need to. We end up in this state of, well, perpetual biological confusion, and that has serious health consequences.
Okay, so that's the fundamental biology. Now let's talk about what sleep does for the mind specifically. This is key lesson 2, the brain's nightly filing system, memory consolidation.
Right, this completely blows up the idea that sleep is just passive rest for the brain. The brain is incredibly active during sleep, doing really sophisticated work, especially around learning and memory.
It's not just about resting the brain, it's about processing information.
Exactly. Sleep plays this dual role. It helps lock in the important things you learned, stabilizing memories, but it also helps clear out the noise, the unimportant stuff.
And different sleep stages do different jobs here.
The first major part happens during NREM sleep, which stands for non-rapid eye movement sleep, particularly the really deep stages, often called slow wave sleep.
That's when the brain waves are really slow and synchronized.
Yes. During this deep sleep, your hippocampus, which is like the brain's temporary inbox or short-term storage.
Just scratch pad.
Good analogy. The hippocampus replays the information learned during the day, sending it over to the cortex, the brain's hard drive, for more permanent storage, like transferring files.
And if you don't get that deep NREM sleep,
Mm-hmm.
the transfer doesn't happen properly.
Exactly. The information stays stuck in the hippocampus, which has limited capacity. Walker cites studies that are just staggering.
The one about students.
Yeah. Students who learned new material and then were deprived of sleep before being tested retained 40% less information compared to those who got a full night's sleep after learning.
40%. That's huge. It basically means pulling an all-nighter to study is counterproductive.
Massively counterproductive. You might cram more in, but you're simultaneously deleting a huge chunk of what you already learned because you skipped the consolidation process. Sleep after learning is critical for saving the data.
It's like cleaning your desk. If you never file things away, you run out of space for new notes.
Perfect analogy. The hippocampus gets overloaded. Sleep cleans the slate for new learning the next day.
But NREM is only part of the story.
Yeah.
Then there's REM sleep. This leads to key lesson 3, dreams as emotional first aid.
Yes, REM sleep, rapid eye movement sleep. This is where most vivid dreaming happens. And while the brain is incredibly active, almost like when you're awake, your body muscles are essentially paralyzed.
A safety mechanism, so you don't act out your dreams.
Right. And during REM, the brain isn't just consolidating facts. It seems to be processing emotions, particularly difficult or stressful experiences.
Like overnight therapy sessions.
That's exactly how Walker describes it. What's fascinating is the brain chemistry during REM. The brain replays these emotionally charged memories.
Like a stressful event from the day.
Exactly. But it does so in a neurochemical environment where a key stress chemical, norepinephrine, is almost completely absent.
So it replays the memory without the stress response.
Precisely. It allows the brain to process the informational content of the memory, what happened, but strip away the sharp, painful emotional charge associated with it. It takes the sting out.
Wow. So without enough REM sleep, those emotions just stay raw.
Yes. You wake up more emotionally reactive, more anxious. The brain hasn't had the chance to do that emotional recalibration overnight. You haven't slept on it effectively.
And this has real implications for things like trauma.
Absolutely. Walker points to research showing that people who experience trauma and have disrupted REM sleep are significantly more likely to develop PTSD. Their brains can't perform that crucial function of decoupling the emotion from the memory.
So dreams aren't just random noise, they're functional.
Yeah.
Like an emotional washing machine, maybe, rinsing out the stress.
That's a great way to think about it. It processes the emotional dirt from the day, preparing you for the next one. Lack of REM means carrying yesterday's emotional load into today.
And REM does something else too, right? Creativity.
Yes. This is another really cool aspect. The bizarre, seemingly illogical connections we make in dreams, that's actually REM sleep fostering creativity.
How does that work?
During REM, the brain seems to connect networks and ideas that are usually kept separate during waking logical thought. It links seemingly disparate concepts together.
Remote association, he calls it.
Exactly. It takes information A and information Z, which you'd never consciously link, and finds novel connections between them. This can lead to sudden insights or solutions to problems you've been stuck on.
Like those stories of scientists or artists having breakthrough ideas in dreams.
Precisely. Kekulé dreaming of the snake biting its tail and figuring out the benzene ring structure is the classic example. REM sleep allows for that kind of nonlinear associative thinking that's key to creativity.
Okay, so sleep is crucial for memory and emotional regulation. But the book really hammers home the physical costs of not getting enough. back to key lesson 1. Sleep is the foundation of health.
Sure.
It goes way beyond just feeling tired.
Oh, way beyond. The systemic damage is profound and, frankly, scary. Let's talk cardiovascular health first.
The heart.
Individuals regularly getting less than 6 hours of sleep have something like a 200% higher risk of having a fatal heart attack or stroke in their lifetime.
200%, that's astronomical. How does sleep deprivation cause that?
It keeps your sympathetic nervous system, the fight-or-flight system, in overdrive. Even when you should be resting, your blood pressure stays higher. Your heart rate variability is worse. There's more stress on your arteries. Sleep is the only time the cardiovascular system gets a real break, a chance to dial down. Without it, it's under constant strain.
Okay, heart disease. What about the immune system?
Equally dramatic impact. Sleep is prime time for immune system maintenance. Walker cites studies showing even one night of bad sleep, say 4 hours, can significantly reduce the activity of your natural killer, NK cells.
And NK cells are the ones that target cancerous cells and viruses.
Exactly. They're a critical part of your immune surveillance. If you consistently sleep poorly, you're essentially operating with a suppressed immune army. Your ability to fight off infections is lower, and your defense against potentially cancerous cells is weakened.
Which is how he links lack of sleep to increased cancer risk.
It's one of the key mechanisms, yes. Chronic suppression of the immune system creates a more permissive environment for diseases to take hold.
And metabolism, you mentioned that earlier.
Huge connection. Lack of sleep throws appetite-regulating hormones completely out of whack. 2 key ones, ghrelin and leptin.
Ghrelin makes you hungry, leptin makes you feel full.
Correct. When you're sleep-deprived, ghrelin levels spike, making you feel much hungrier, and leptin levels plummet, meaning you don't feel satisfied after eating.
Oh, that's a dangerous combination.
It really is. Plus, the sleep-deprived brain tends to crave high-calorie, sugary, fatty foods, so you're hungrier, less satisfied, and craving junk food. It's a recipe for weight gain.
And that leads towards diabetes risk.
Directly. It impairs your body's ability to manage blood sugar and increases insulin resistance, a hallmark of type 2 diabetes.
Okay, this is grim. Is there more?
Unfortunately, yes. A really frightening link is with Alzheimer's disease.
How does sleep connect to Alzheimer's?
During deep NREM sleep, the brain activates this kind of waste disposal system called the glymphatic system. It uses cerebrospinal fluid to flush out metabolic byproducts that accumulate in the brain while you're awake.
Like cleaning the brain physically.
Exactly, and one of the main things it clears out is amyloid beta, the toxic protein that forms plaques characteristic of Alzheimer's.
So if you don't get enough deep sleep.
The cleanup crew doesn't do its job properly. Amyloid plaque builds up faster. Walker argues that insufficient sleep is likely a major modifiable risk factor for developing Alzheimer's later in life. Skipping sleep is literally accelerating the accumulation of brain toxins.
Wow. That's incredibly motivating to get enough sleep.
It should be. And then there's the disruption of the circadian rhythm itself. We talked about artificial light, but think about shift work.
Right. Working nights messes up your clock completely.
And the World Health Organization has actually classified night shift work as a probable carcinogen.
Seriously, why?
Because that chronic misalignment with the natural light-dark cycle disrupts so many fundamental processes, including melatonin production, which has protective roles, and even DNA repair mechanisms. The risk for certain cancers like breast and prostate significantly increases.
Okay, the individual health risks are overwhelming. But Walker also talks about the broader societal cost. Key lesson 4, the deadly cost to society, specifically safety.
Yeah, this is where it gets really stark in terms of immediate danger. The book makes a powerful case that drowsy driving is a massive, underestimated public health crisis.
More dangerous than drunk driving.
In terms of the sheer number of accidents and fatalities caused annually, Walker presents data suggesting, yes, drowsy driving contributes to more than alcohol and drugs combined.
How can that be? We hear so much about drunk driving.
Because drowsy driving is harder to test for post-accident, and it's often just put down to driver error or fatigue. But the biological reality is, driving on very little sleep impairs your reaction time, judgment, and attention just as much, if not more, than being legally intoxicated.
Those micro sleeps he talks about, where you nod off for just a few seconds.
Exactly. At highway speeds, a few seconds of unconsciousness is catastrophic.
So the takeaway is, treat sloopiness behind the wheel as seriously as being drunk.
Absolutely. If you feel too tired to drive safely, you are too tired. Pull over. It's not just about you, it's about everyone else on the road. Driving with less than 5 hours sleep is like driving impaired. Full stop.
And this ties into the final big lesson here, key lesson 6, challenging the culture of sleeplessness. It's not just individual choices. It's how society views sleep.
Right. Walker really critiques this hustle culture that glorifies sacrificing sleep. CEOs bragging about only needing 4 hours. It sets a terrible precedent.
But it's counterproductive, even from a business perspective.
Totally. All the data shows sleep-deprived workers are less productive, make more mistakes, are less creative, get sick more often. It costs companies huge amounts in the long run through errors and healthcare costs. Investing in employee rest is actually good for the bottom line.
And what about schools? Early start times.
That's another major issue, especially for teenagers. Their natural circadian rhythm shifts later during adolescence. Forcing them to wake up super early for school means they are chronically sleep-deprived during critical developmental years.
Which affects learning, mood, everything.
Everything. Walker is a strong advocate for systemic changes like later school start times, workplace policies that don't implicitly reward sleep deprivation.
But on an individual level, we need to push back too, against feeling guilty for sleeping.
Yes, we need to reframe sleep not as laziness or weakness, but as intelligent self-management. Prioritizing 7 to 9 hours of sleep is probably the smartest, most productive decision you can make for your health and performance.
Okay, we've thoroughly established why sleep is so critical. Let's shift gears to the how. How can we actually improve our sleep based on the science in the book?
This is the really practical part. Walker uses this nice analogy, creating the sleep garden. You can't force yourself to sleep any more than you can force a plant to grow.
But you can create the right conditions.
Exactly. You cultivate the environment, the soil, the light, the water, so that sleep can naturally happen when your body is ready.
So what are the key strategies from the book? Where do we start?
Strategy 1. Consistency is king. This is probably the single most important tip. Stick to the same bedtime and, crucially, the same wake-up time. Every day.
Even weekends. That's the tough one.
Especially weekends. That's where social jet lag comes in. Sleeping in hours later on Saturday and Sunday throws your internal clock completely off. Then Monday morning feels brutal because your body thinks it's still the middle of the night. Consistency anchors your circadian rhythm.
Okay, consistency. What's next?
Strategy 2. Environment control. Make your bedroom a haven for sleep. Cool, dark, and quiet, and temperature is surprisingly important.
He says cooler is better.
Yes. Your body needs to drop its core temperature by a couple of degrees Fahrenheit to initiate and maintain sleep. The ideal range is around 65 degrees Fahrenheit or 18 Celsius.
That sounds quite cool.
It is. Many people sleep in rooms that are too warm, which actually hinders the sleep process. And darkness needs to be absolute.
Because even a little light messes with melatonin.
Exactly. Even tiny amounts hitting your eyelids can signal to your brain's SCN that it's daytime. Blackout curtains, sleep masks, whatever it takes to make it pitch black.
Got it. Cool and dark. What about what we consume? Strategy 3. Chemical control.
Right. Mainly caffeine and alcohol. The rule for caffeine is pretty strict. Avoid it after 2 p.m.
Why so early?
Because caffeine has a long half-life, about 5 to 6 hours on average. So if you have coffee at 3 p.m., a good chunk of it is still circulating in your system at 9 or 10 p.m., actively blocking those adenosine receptors and fighting sleep pressure.
Even if you feel like you can sleep.
You might fall asleep eventually, but the sleep quality will be worse, lighter, more fragmented, and alcohol. It's terrible for sleep.
But people use it as a sleep aid. A nightcap.
It's a sedative, not a sleep aid. It might knock you out initially, but it severely disrupts sleep architecture later in the night. Specifically, it suppresses REM sleep.
Blocking that crucial emotional processing we talked about.
Exactly. You wake up feeling unrefreshed because you didn't get the restorative REM sleep your brain needed.
Okay, no late caffeine, limit alcohol. What about screens? Strategy 4, electronics boundary.
This is huge in the modern world. Power down all electronic screens, phones, tablets, computers, TVs, at least 1 hour before your intended bedtime.
Because of the blue light.
Precisely. Blue light wavelengths are particularly potent at suppressing melatonin release. Staring at your phone before bed is like shining a miniature sun into your eyes, telling your brain, stay awake. That hour buffer allows melatonin to rise naturally.
1 full hour. That requires discipline.
It does, but it makes a significant difference.
Okay, strategy 5 sounds interesting. Bed association and the paradoxical rule.
Yeah, the idea is your brain should associate your bed strongly and solely with sleep. and intimacy, not with work, worrying, scrolling social media, or watching TV.
So if you do those things in bed, your brain starts linking the bed with being awake and alert.
Exactly. It weakens the sleep cue. And the paradoxical part is crucial for insomnia. If you're lying in bed awake for more than, say, 20 minutes, getting anxious about not sleeping.
Don't just lie there stressing.
Right. Get out of bed, go to another dimly lit room, do something quiet and relaxing, read a real book, not on a screen, listen to calm music. Only return to bed when you actually feel sleepy again.
Why does that help?
It breaks the association between your bed and the frustration of not sleeping. You retrain your brain to see the bed as a place where sleep happens easily. Staying in bed, tossing and turning, just reinforces the anxiety.
Makes sense. What else? Strategy 6, light exposure. But morning light this time.
Yes. Just as important as darkness at night is getting bright light exposure, preferably natural sunlight, soon after waking up in the morning.
How does that help?
That morning light exposure is the strongest signal to reset your SCN, your master clock. It anchors the start of your 24-hour cycle, ensuring your internal timing stays accurate, which helps with timely melatonin release later that evening.
So dark at night, bright in the morning.
That's the rhythm your body thrives on.
And wrapping all this up is the fundamental mindset shift. Treat sleep as non-negotiable. Aim for that 7-9 hour window consistently.
That's the bottom line. It's not about finding the magic minimum you can get by on. It's about giving your brain and body the full amount of sleep they actually need to function optimally. It's an investment, not an expense.
So pulling all this together, the message from Why We Sleep is incredibly powerful. Sleep isn't empty time. It's not a luxury.
No, it's arguably the most powerful tool we have for health, well-being, performance, everything. It's fundamental self-care, preventative medicine even.
Making time for those 7 to 9 hours isn't being lazy. It's being smart. It's investing in your memory, your mood, your immune system, your safety.
Absolutely. It underpins everything else.
Okay, let's quickly recap the top 5 takeaways from the book just to really cement them.
Good idea. Number 1, sleep is health's foundation, not optional. Lack of it shortens life and damages your heart and immune system.
Number 2, sleep actively boosts memory and creativity. NREM files facts. REM makes connections.
Number 3, dreams are like emotional therapy, processing stress during REM sleep when stress chemicals are low.
Number 4, drowsy driving is incredibly dangerous, potentially more so than drunk driving in terms of accident numbers.
Safety first.
And number 5, respect your biology. Consistency and sleep timing is key to keeping your circadian rhythm happy.
Right. So, as you go about your day after hearing this, think about what it means for you. We've talked about brain cleaning, emotional processing, hormone balance. What's one thing, just one small change you could make starting tonight?
Maybe it's setting that 1-hour screen curfew, or checking the thermostat, or committing to that consistent wake-up time, even tomorrow morning.
Exactly. Just pick one thing. That first step can make a real difference.
It really can. This book provides the blueprint.
It absolutely does. Well, thank you for walking us through the science of why we sleep. It's genuinely eye-opening stuff.
My pleasure. It's crucial information for everyone.
And for everyone listening, if you found this summary helpful, please do subscribe to our channel, Book by Book, for more summaries like this one. Yeah, and hitting that like button and sharing it really helps us out. It lets us know you find this valuable and motivates us to keep digging into these important books.
Absolutely. Thanks for tuning in to Book by Book. Until next time, sleep well.